This next lesson, lesson 8.5, is on trapezoids and kites. They're two quadrilaterals, so we need to finish working with special quadrilaterals. There's also scalene quadrilaterals that we don't emphasize very much. Many things in our world are scalene quadrilaterals, which means they have no parallelogram or trapezoid or kite properties. So we're going to take a look at trapezoids and kites. And we're going to take a look at, first of all, the trapezoid. Trapezoid's, again, a quadrilateral with exactly one pair of parallel sides. That means one and only one. Okay, don't think that both pairs can be, because then you have a parallelogram. Okay, the bases are the parallel sides, and the legs are the non-parallel sides. Okay, base angles, you have two pair of base angles on each trapezoid. Base angles are those that are on either end of a base. Okay, so we have two pairs of base angles. Now, I should not have marked them the same. There could be different. We're going to take a look at isosceles trapezoids, and then they are the same. But base angles means consecutive along a base. On an isosceles trapezoid, what we like to think of as our trapezoids, the legs are going to be congruent. Okay? A lot of trapezoids are not. If we pretended the Red River was straight, North Dakota's north and south borders are parallel, but the legs are not congruent. So that would be a trapezoid, but not an isosceles trapezoid. Okay, on an isosceles trapezoid, let me get the picture up here for us. There we go. On an isosceles trapezoid, both pairs of base angles are going to be congruent. Well, if these are parallel, and this is congruent to this, we could put in the auxiliary lines that are perpendicular, and we would have hypotenuse leg. Okay, because this is going to be the same length as this. It has to be if those lines are parallel. So then this angle is congruent to this, corresponding parts. And then once that happens, let me get this out of the way. Okay, once that happens, remember that the lines are parallel. Consecutive interior angles are supplementary. Okay, they're supplementary. And since the two base angles here are congruent, angles supplementary to the congruent angles are going to be congruent. So we kind of ran through a quick reasoning, so you don't doubt me. It's a quick informal proof. Okay, the second theorem here says that the diagonals of an isosceles trapezoid are congruent. So this is congruent to this. Okay, so that wouldn't be too hard to see. Let me put this one as yellow. Okay, since it's isosceles, these are the same, these base angles are the same, this the same to itself. The purple triangle and the yellow triangle are going to be congruent, so corresponding parts are congruent. Okay, true story. True story. A mom was suddenly single. All of a sudden her husband was gone, whatever. I don't know the whole story. I don't need to know. She was remodeling a room for her son. And she made a door, and she knew that the diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. So she very carefully measured and framed out a door. She went to put the door in, and it didn't fit. She had made a trapezoid. what is the difference between the diagonals on a rectangle and that on a trapezoid? Okay, well, on a trapezoid and a rectangle, they're both congruent. But on a rectangle, they also bisect each other. But on a trapezoid, notice they do not bisect each other. Okay, and that's the mistake she made. So I want you to note that small difference. On a trapezoid, if it's isosceles, both pairs of base angles are congruent. The diagonals are congruent. Does not say they bisect each other. Okay, there we go. Okay, diagonals of a rectangle and square are also congruent, but if you're trying to verify that a quadrilateral is an isosceles trapezoid, first be sure it's a trapezoid, not a parallelogram. Okay? To show it's isosceles trapezoid, gotta have those two bases parallel. Okay? That's all you need. You need one pair of opposite sides that are parallel. But to show that it's isosceles, you're either going to show that those two legs are congruent, purposely not here, and that the leg diagonals are congruent. Again, purposely not here. All right. So if we were to try to determine if this is a trapezoid, -4, -3, -3, -10, get there, 5, 0. Is it a trapezoid? Okay. Well, let's first of all find the slopes, because two sides have to be parallel, and it looks like maybe this one and this one, the other two definitely look like they're not. So this slope we're rising for, running for. Okay, for this one, we are rising 10 and running 8. So it's not a trapezoid. Okay, it's not a parallelogram, so it can't be parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, square. This is what I would call a scalene quadrilateral. It has no properties that would make it one of our special quadrilaterals. The median of a trapezoid is the segment that joins the midpoints of the legs. Okay, so let me go back to a trapezoid. I like trapezoids. The median is going to take the midpoint of this side and connect it to the midpoint of this side. Now, my special tools allow me to draw isosceles trapezoids very quickly, but it doesn't have to be isosceles. So that is your median. It connects midpoints. It's different than the median of a triangle. A median of a triangle connects a vertex to the middle of the opposite side. But a median of a trapezoid, you wouldn't know which side to go from here. Is it this side or is it this side? So it connects midpoints of the legs. Okay, it doesn't even connect midpoints of the bases. It has to be midpoints of the legs. The median of a trapezoid is parallel to the bases, and its measure is the average of the lengths of the bases. Okay, I'm not going to try to prove that. Okay, it just would take so long. We would have to go back to this being 0, 0, this being AB, this would be CB, and this would be C plus A, 0, and we'd have to find your midpoints, and it's just going to be way more work than you guys want to sit through. That's how we would have to do it. But it does say that it's the average length. So if this one is 10 and this one is 14, the average of 10 and 14 would be 12. And what's nice about that, oops, sorry, this one, okay? If you know the median and one of the bases, say you know this is 20 and this is 23, well, you added 3, you add 3 more, you get the other base. Or if you went the other way, you could subtract. It's really nice that the average is the same distance from both bases. So here's one. So 22 is half 2x plus 6 and 5x minus 11. Okay, most of us do not like working with the fractions, so if I multiply both sides by 2, when I'm simplifying, minus 5, right? Add 5 to both sides, I get 49 equals 7x. X turns out to be 7. And then I can come back. 2 times 7 plus 6 is going to be 20. This darn well better be 24. Okay, 5 times 7 is 35. Minus 11, yeah, that's 24. So, okay. Got a few minutes. Let's look at a kite. A kite is a quadrilateral that has 2 pairs of consecutive congruent sides, but opposite sides are not congruent. So, there's your kite. Okay? It doesn't tell us any more than that in the definition. But if we put in our diagonals, okay, the triangle here on the right, I want the temporary pen. This triangle and this triangle are congruent by side, side, side. I wish I could make those different colors. Maybe I can. And this triangle, let's see. Oh, once we do that, then this triangle would be congruent to this triangle. And same with these two, because we had those corresponding angles congruent. So then all the angles here are congruent. They're going to be perpendicular. Okay, hey, I learned something today. I didn't know I could make them the same or different colors. So diagonals are perpendicular. Sounds like a rhombus, but what's different? A rhombus has all 4 sides congruent. A kite does not. Okay, make sure you meet them halfway. Okay, if a quadrilateral is a kite, then exactly 1 pair of opposite angles are congruent. Okay, this angle and this angle have to be congruent. Because remember, these two are congruent. These two, when we draw this in, this triangle on the left and this triangle on the right are congruent. Okay, so once we know that, then we can say, well, all I have to do is say the angles in this total 360. So we have x plus 94 plus x plus 60, and you're good at solving those equations. Okay. One diagonal of a kite will bisect opposite angles. The other diagonal does not. So what we think of as the longer diagonal, but it doesn't have to be longer. Remember, you can make it a different shape. But these are going to bisect these angles. They're not congruent to each other, but they bisect those. Something you might need. And there you have the last 2 special quadrilaterals.